Good morning, Richard Borston here in Cookeville, Tennessee today. We are working on a portion of a long driveway. You can see already, I don't even need to tell you, you can see why we're here and the problems that they're having. One of the things I want to point out to you is that one of the problems they're having is this is pointing this way. All the water is coming in here, but it's not high enough to get it into this ditch over here where they've got a culvert. So instead, what it's doing is just ripping through here. So we're gonna fix that. And then we've got this whole section up in here that we're gonna be doing. And getting all this to stop getting trapped this way, but get the water flowing that way. So if you hang tight with us, we'll show you how we do it and what it looks like when we're done. So let me share with you what our strategy is with this. So they had originally put a ditch in here that came down to a culvert, and that ditch though got too high. So the ditch was actually higher than the road, and so the road was turned in to this side, so the water was coming this way, but the ditch was higher than the edge of the road, and so it was just trapping, and the water was running and digging it out. Well, our strategy is that we're gonna get rid of all this ditch. We're gonna turn the road this way. As you can see, there's plenty of fall off there. This goes down into a holler. So we're gonna take the water, instead of having the water go this way where you've got this ditch that you've got to maintain and have all these problems with, and you've got to get all the leaves out of the riprap, we're just gonna have it all pitching this way, and the water's just gonna flow off, leaving them with the maintenance-free condition that they don't have to try to keep this clean, keep the depth of the ditch in, etc. So that's what our strategy is, and that's what you see Joey doing right now, is he's taking this edge off so that it'll pitch the correct way. Alright, so you can already see it taking shape here, where we're removing that high pine over and over and over. We're eventually going to get it to match up with this, so that this whole rut is going to go away, and all this water that's on the road is going to pitch this way, so that there won't be water going into this ditch that's obviously really shallow. There's leaves. It's just going to cause bunch more maintenance requirements over the years. So we've got this graded out with the material that was here. We've done as much as we can do with all the material. And you can see Joey's got all this filled in here. There was this big rut right in here. Now we've got this ditch right here that's still functional, but we don't really care about that. We don't need it for the road. So what's the point of this 2-inch here? It's to lift this side so that we can get it over here. We need to lift this about 2 inches or so. And it's not the only stuff we're going to use. We're going to bring in a lot of crush also, but we always try to build a base of 2-inch where we can, because it just gives structure to the crush and doesn't just rely upon the compaction of the crush to do it, but we have some actual aggregate that the crush can lean on, if you will, in order to be able to maintain the structure that we're asking it to maintain. So as we build up this side, we will create a pitch that will come over to this side, so that ultimately the water is just moving along here. What they used to have, and you can see some remnants of it, what they used to have is a ditch here, and at first it was deep enough and it was kind of working, but over time, in the years that have gone by, it just has filled in. And so we're going to get rid of relying upon the ditch, and we're going to just use the gravity to move it where we want it to go. What? We are back at it again this morning. We've got all the 2-inch down. We started spreading the crush, and bit of a rough go with the spreads. Not certainly I've seen them do a lot better, but here's the thing, is that they've got these lines that they're having to try to pay attention to. And then the loader, they had a different loader guy, so he wasn't loading the back. And kind of between all that, we got a little work to do, but as always, everyone will get it all figured out. And in the end, we will have a nice road. So let's go catch up with Joey and watch him do his thing. Joey and I had a little miscommunication. I thought he said he wanted both trucks to dump in this spot, but he wanted one truck to start down there and have the next truck follow in after and finish up where this truck leaves off. Well, we just put both trucks in the same spot. So now Joey gets the fun of pushing all this gravel all the way up to that post up there. And he gets to do it uphill. So we're really gonna put all this to the test here. But as always, Joey's up for the task. He's just a lot more work to do than we needed. But that's why we got this grater blade. So that we can move material around, get it spread. He's gonna push it up 10 feet at a time. Man, I created a whole bunch more work for him. That's my bad. You can see you can see how much material we have in here. Way more than we need. Yeah. And of course my problem was I couldn't even check myself because I couldn't see what was going on up here. I was standing down there, and so I've told the trucks what to do, and now Joey's got to do all this. Another 10 feet closer. Here you go. This is it all done. You can see how we've raised this up in here and crowned it. And then in here you can see how now we've reversed the pitch. So we're moving it this way and letting the water come out this way instead of flowing that way. So that will work much better and won't have to rely upon the ditch anymore. There's still a ditch here just because we've built up so much, but there's not going to be that much water coming through there. And then you can see through here, we've thrown everything back this way. And we've widened it quite a bit. They could definitely have 2 cars coming by here. So they'll be able to enjoy that. And there you go. Well, I sure appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and hope that you have a great rest of your day, whatever time it is. And God bless.